here at Moms Meet. And I'm so excited that you all could join us today. It's my pleasure to introduce you to our presenter, Ruth Chamblee. Ruth is the Vice President of Retail Marketing at National Geographic, and she'll be sharing with us how the Super Readers program works, and you'll get a chance to get your questions answered at the end. So during the webinar, feel free to submit your questions into the chat window, and we'll try to get to as many of your questions as we can. With that said, I'll like to turn it over to Ruth.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Annie, and thank you for that introduction. Again, I'm Ruth Chamblee, and I head up marketing for National Geographic Children's Books. And on behalf of Lori, Christelle, and the entire team who've worked so hard to make National Geographic Super Readers come to life, I'd like to thank you so much for taking your time to learn about and hopefully try our program. This has been a true labor of love for all of us, and we are so thrilled to share it with you and to actually see it in action. So here we go. I'd like to accomplish three main things with you this morning. First, I'd like to introduce you to our wonderful Leveled Reading Series program and basically explain to you why we think it's the best on the market. Second, I want to thoroughly explain the Super Readers program, why we created it, how it works, and most importantly, what are its benefits for your children. And third, I want to make sure that you feel completely comfortable actually using the program with your children, or if you're hosting a National Geographic Super Readers sampling. So I will probably talk for about 25 minutes or so and leave plenty of time for answering any questions you have. So actually, I almost left out the most important goal, fun. Of course, we designed the Super Readers program specifically to make reading even more fun for your children. So we certainly want you to have fun too, and I hope you do. So with that in mind, I'm going to start things off with what I think is the funnest part of the presentation. I'm going to let the Super Readers speak for themselves and give you a sneak peek at the program.
Presenting National Geographic Super Readers.
Hey, you want to become a National Geographic Super Reader? First, ask Mom or Dad if it's okay, and then they can help you log on to the website. Just type in kids.nationalgeographic.com/superreader. Then download this awesome free National Geographic Super Readers poster. Next, pick out a National Geographic Super Reader and start reading.
Once you're finished reading, you're a National Geographic Super Reader.
Now get out your poster and cross your book off. Now that you're a National Geographic Super Reader, you can get great rewards and prizes. Ask Mom or Dad to log back onto the site. kids.nationalgeographic.com/superreader. Download your National Geographic Super Reader badge and start earning prizes. The more you read, the more badges and prizes you earn. Plus, you can go visit the site for games, fun facts, and more exciting books to read. National Geographic Super Readers are super fun. Keep reading.
National Geographic Super Readers, available wherever books are sold.
I just love our Super Readers critters, and we have so many fun plans for them later in the program. But now that you've seen a quick overview, I'd like to take a quick step back and talk about the books themselves. National Geographic is the only nonfiction children's publisher with the world's largest nonprofit scientific and educational organization at its core. We're a leader in nonfiction publishing because it's all we publish. I'll talk about the growing importance of nonfiction reading in early childhood education in a moment, but let's take a look at some of the books. One of our mantras in NG Kids books is photos, facts, and fun, because we know that's what kids love. So we try to deliver exactly that on every page. Now this incredible image of a moth versus a butterfly really helps to explain to children the differences between two common insects that they might see, but might be a little bit confused about what each is. So you'll see the beautiful bright images, the brightly colored boxes that explain the information, including a box that explains how to pronounce a word. And then you'll see up at the top a fun joke, which we have sprinkled throughout some of the pages. And this is because research shows that laughing actually helps kids learn, as long as the humor is connected to the subject. So here goes. What's it called when a moth cries? Answer, a mothball. Ba-dum-bum. Okay, so you may be groaning instead of laughing, but kids really do eat this stuff up, and the research supports it. So how did we get where we are today with the program? Well, after conducting extensive market and consumer research, we developed a series with experts in the field of literacy education who know that informational reading is critical to children's success in school and later in life. Our books explore high-interest topics that kids love, even reluctant readers. Topics such as dinosaurs, weather, space, and animals, animals, animals. Plus, we've just added biographies to the books because we know how much kids love to learn about real-life heroes. Children are naturally curious about the world, and curiosity is a powerful motivation for reading. So we have books on all the topics that interest them. Visual stimulation adds to reading comprehension and enjoyment. So our books feature eye-popping illustrations, bold, bright text, and colorful boxes and callouts that encourage the eye to move around the page, taking in every piece of information. Each book also includes a photo-driven glossary that enhances understanding of new vocabulary. Active engagement with a book helps kids to better remember what they've read. Plus, it's a lot more fun. Other buzz phrases for this in the educational community include learning by doing and experiential learning. Every page of the NG Reader challenges the child to interact with the book, whether it's finding something on a map, answering a question, or playing games like Stump Your Parents or What in the World? Many books also include related hands-on activities, such as learning how to plant flowers that will attract butterflies to your garden. It's amazing what games and activities can do to enhance the joy of reading for your children. To help you pick what's right for your children, each book falls into one of 4 carefully designated reading levels that are clearly marked on the book cover and explained briefly on the back. Pre-reader is for kids who are ready to read with a parent. Level 1 kids are beginning to read on their own. Level 2 kids are ready for longer sentences and more complex vocabulary. And Level 3 kids are reading on their own with ease and are ready for more challenging vocabulary and varied sentence structures. You can see from this slide how the physical layout, amount of text, and list of features grows and becomes more complex as the levels increase, still with all the photos, facts, and fun. Now we know that there are a lot of leveled reading programs out there for you to consider. So I want to take a minute just to show you some of our competition and how we compare. This first example of a spread from our book on the Titanic clearly shows many of the great features I just described. The competition looks very different. Here's another example from the same book. Color, no color. And the great features like a timeline, and in this case you see in her own words, which is a great feature we have throughout the book that brings in primary source material, things that come straight from the people who experienced the history. Here are 2 books on wolves. Which do you think would appeal more to your child? And finally, here's a look at our illustrated glossary that I mentioned, which really helps early readers see and understand each word much better than type alone. To ensure that we continue to get everything just right, each book in the series is crafted with the invaluable counsel of Miriam Jean Dreyer, who's a professor of reading education at the University of Maryland. We also frequently send our books out for review by other educators and have gotten some great feedback. Dr. Jennifer Gray, assistant professor at Marymount University, calls the series outstanding. She uses our books in her reading methods course as examples of engaging, informative, well-written informational text. And she adds, I also read them aloud to my son, who loves them. We appreciate that kind of feedback. So we put our Message in Learning magazine, which is one of the leading resources for teachers at an award-winning magazine, and we got a phenomenal response. We received nearly 2,500 requests for information packets about the Super Readers program and entries into our book giveaway. The fact that teachers got so excited about our program could not be a better endorsement, and we're really thrilled. As a mom myself, that reassures me that this is something really beneficial for my children. And the bonus, of course, we can see for ourselves how much fun it is. Another reason that National Geographic readers are becoming even more attractive to both teachers and parents is the recent adoption by nearly all 50 states and the District of Columbia of what are called the Common Core State Standards, a new curriculum guideline designed to ensure that our kids are better prepared for college and careers. These standards require that 50% of all elementary students' reading materials be nonfiction, growing to 70% by high school. Given National Geographic's trusted reputation as a leading nonfiction publisher, we're already in the process of providing teachers with Common Core guidelines for our reader series and many of our other books. Each of us should also check our own state's rollout plans to find out when they'll be introducing Common Core, but it certainly can't hurt to get our children accustomed to reading nonfiction now. And before I move on to the details of the Super Readers program, I want to point out one more reason that Moms Meet Moms and Kiwi readers can feel good about National Geographic. Many of the more than 10,000 research grants we've awarded have gone to support pioneering environmental efforts, and net proceeds from all of our books support vital exploration, conservation, research, and education programs. We share your concern for the environment. We also know that the more kids learn about animals and their habitats and the world at large, the more they will care about protecting these treasures. So, why did we create National Geographic Super Readers? And what is the program? Well, we realized that it really wasn't enough just to create terrific award-winning books. We had to find a way to encourage kids to read more. And the Super Readers program was developed with 4 goals in mind. First, to get kids super excited about reading. To build reading frequency and stamina. And this is also a major goal of teachers. To encourage kids to advance through the reading levels. And finally, to empower kids to really learn about their world. The program is simple, convenient, and it's free, and that's a great plus for us moms. First, kids get mom's permission and help to visit the website, kids.nationalgeographic.com/superreader. There they can watch the same video you saw, meet friendly characters who love to read, see how much fun they're having, and want to become super readers too. Next, just download this colorful Super Readers poster to hang on your wall. It includes all the books and their reading level, all 4 Super Reader characters, and a sampling of the prizes and games that kids will find on the website. It's a great, easy way to pick the books they want to read. It also gives them a tangible way to chart their progress. Checking off each book they read will appeal to kids' love of accomplishment, and they can take pride in their achievements by downloading a new badge for every book that adds to their reading total. I read 1 super reader, then 2, 3, and so on. As they read more books, they can go back to the website and download special prizes, including bookmarks and stickers or magnets, iron-on designs, activity sheets, collector's cards, posters, and more. We suggest that kids earn one of these fun incentives after every 4 books they read to keep them motivated and encouraged. But the frequency is, of course, up to you. Many of the prizes are fun to collect and trade with friends, which kids also love. The website is also a fun place to visit to play games and activities, read book excerpts, and more. It's another way to extend the reading experience beyond the book, and that helps kids to learn and stay engaged. Now I just want to take a moment to actually go to our website and give you a quick look at how it looks and how it works. The first thing they'll see is the video screen, where they can watch the video. Scrolling down, you'll see this is where they download the badges, up to 32. And of course, as we continue to add readers, and we already have more, we will include more badges, and we'll continue to update the poster to include all of the new readers that are launched. So all you do is you click on this link. It opens up a window that allows you to download, and there you have a page of badges in different colors. Further down, it's the same thing for prizes. Bookmarks, iron-on transfers, magnets, and many others. Here are all the books listed in alphabetical order, so you can scroll in one direction or the other and get information about the books. This is where you download your Super Reader poster, and here's a fun game called Quiz Your Noodle, which takes you through some questions that kids might learn from reading the Super Readers or that might encourage them to go and read. One other thing I wanted to show you up here, which is sort of fun, is a section called Sound Off, where kids can actually vote on who is their favorite Super Readers character. So let's see. I'm going to vote for the sea otter. Well, the tiger is winning. But you know, it's nip and tuck between them. They've gone back and forth. So kids can vote and then see what critter other kids like. Okay, so again, they can visit the website often and have fun. It's also a fun place for them to, as I said, play games, have fun activities, and just stay in touch with their Super Reader friends. So now I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has on either the books or the program.
Thank you, Ruth. That was great. Thanks for showing us around. Sounds like a very wonderful program. I know a lot of our mom ambassadors are really excited to be reviewing this product with their group. So we're getting a lot of great questions. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. We have a lot of homeschooling moms, and they're asking if you have any resources or tips on how to incorporate this into their homeschooling curriculum.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely, I think some of the research that I mentioned in my presentation shows that we've tried to incorporate elements into this program that are specifically designed for early learning. For instance, the visual element, the active engagement element, the laughter, and all of those. So I think it's perfectly designed for homeschoolers in mind. The books themselves have some information in them, for instance, activities, etc., that homeschoolers can use for hands-on learning, such as, for instance, I'm looking at our Sea Turtles book, and there's a section in there about conservation and safekeeping, which teaches lessons about that, picking up trash on the beach and, not releasing balloons into the air and things like that. So the books definitely have that kind of material in them.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a question from a mom who has an 8-year-old, and she said that he's an advanced reader. So she's wondering if level 3 would be a good place to start with him. But could you also, in addition to that, clarify so that the recommended age ranges for each level of your book?
Absolutely. Well, let me just tell you that my kids both love to read also, and started, reading, very quickly and advancing up. But I found that they still love to read books that even may not be quite at their level, just because of the interest in the subject. So I would definitely say that her 8-year-old can read the level 3 books, and that'd be fine. But there's quite a bit that they can learn and experience, even in the level 2s and the level 1s. So if your son or your child is interested in a particular topic and it happens to be a level 2, I'd say take a look at it, because there's always new vocabulary to learn, particularly in some of these books that are science related, and I think that they would still enjoy it. Even if some of the words aren't challenging to them, I'm sure they'd find something that is. And as far as the reading levels and the ages, one of the reasons that we don't put ages with the reading levels is that, reading is so individual, and, we try to just explain in words what types of skills are needed to read each book at the level, and not pin it down to an age, because as the caller mentioned, her 8-year-old is already reading at an advanced level, so we wouldn't want to say that certain books were for age 8. We leave that to the parent to sort of determine as they look at the book and know their child.
Right. Yes, that's definitely a good point. That's great. Now, one mom is wondering that she noticed that there's only 2 titles listed for the pre-reader. Are there any plans to increase the number of publications in that category or in that level?
Yes, there are definitely plans to do that. We have a couple of pre-readers on the docket right now that we're about to bring out. They will be coming out in, I believe, next fall. So they'll be on the way. But I would encourage that mom to pick up some of the level 1s and just, read them with your child. I think it will be fun for them to look at the pictures and, start to understand some of the words. I wouldn't want her to wait because there are only 2 pre-readers. The program is easy to adapt to any reading level.
Great. This next question is really something I can personally relate to, since I'm trying to help my daughter, learn how to read. And, it can sometimes be a frustrating process for both mom and the kid. So do you have any general tips for moms who are, it's their first time trying to help their kids read?
Mm-hmm. Well, I found, with my kids that they started wanting to read when I would be driving them around in the car and they would see signs on the road. And they would say, what do those letters mean, or what does that say? And so I started encouraging them to just sound out the words. I mean, of course, we were in the school of going with the sound of the letters, not the names of the letters. So they even though they knew that the letter was A, B, C, they of course learned it as A, B, K. So that was the first help in helping them to start reading and sounding out things. And I think that's a great way. So we started doing that in the car, and we did it with easy early flashcards like cat and dog. But beyond that, I think the most important thing is really just showing your children the love of reading, watching you read. being read to by you. You know, making the connection between the words on the page and the picture on the page and what you're saying really helps children to understand the concepts. That's one of the reasons that we think it's so important to have such visually stimulating books. Children totally understand what they're hearing much better when they can see the picture that also explains it.
Right, right. Great. Thank you for that tip. Some really good thoughts there. Could you elaborate a little bit more on why reading nonfiction is more important or better for kids?
Mm-hmm. Well, one reason that reading nonfiction is so important is that children are curious about the world. You know, and curiosity is really something that motivates kids to read. So children can find nonfiction books on any topic that interests them. It's a much easier way to appeal to something that they might be, you know, just excited about in the moment, whether it's dinosaurs or you're taking a trip to the beach and so they want to learn about the ocean or the birds that they see. Their nonfiction is all around them. So it just stands to reason that when kids start asking questions, they're going to ask questions about things that they see. And nonfiction will really help to explain that to them. Also, educators feel very strongly that reading nonfiction is critical to the success of kids in school and, of course, later in life. It's something that we all deal with every day as adults. And learning to read that early and to appreciate reading it early is only going to benefit your children.
Right. Yeah, that's really great. You know, we have one person saying that she really likes the Stump Your Parents section, and she wanted to, you know, let us know that. But also, she is a teacher, and she wanted to know if you have any special resources or a section on your website dedicated to help teachers incorporate this into their classroom.
That's a great question. I appreciate it. Absolutely. One of the things that we're doing, and as I mentioned, we did put our message into Learning Magazine for teachers. We've created a special Super Readers kit that's designed for educators and librarians so that they can actually use this program in their classroom or in their library. And it's very similar to, you know, the home-based program. The only difference is that the poster is larger. The back of the poster has some wonderful activities and games and things that teachers can use in the classroom to sort of connect the kids to the book, suggestions for ways to extend it. The kit also includes a reader that the teacher can see. And these are also things that can be found on the website. So, of course, parents can also find activities as well. But we've designed the program so that it can be done by an individual child or it can be done by a group of children. If the teacher wants to read the book out loud with the children and then, you know, play some of the activities and even have a poster in the classroom that they can cross the books off. They can still download the badges and give each child a badge and give each child a prize. So it's a fun sort of thing that can happen in the classroom as well. The other thing that I mentioned briefly and that you may be already aware of, again, is the Common Core. The Common Core state standards are definitely rolling out across the country. It is a program that is particularly focusing on nonfiction reading, and teachers are certainly going to need resources to find great nonfiction materials for their classroom. And, you know, we designed this program totally with that in mind, using all the resources at our disposal, as well as experts in reading education to develop this program. So we think we've hopefully provided all of the tools that you need to use it in the program.
Great, great, thank you. And we have several people wondering if you have an iPhone app or an iPad app or, you know, any type of mobile app.
Great question. You know, the The National Geographic Readers are, of course, available in paperback. They're also available in ebook, and they are available in read aloud ebook for certain devices. So whether you want to, read the book in print or have the book read to you, all those options are available.
Great. That's wonderful. We have a few moms wondering if any of the design of these books or any of the content, is there a special content that's for children with special needs or learning issues?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, the only thing that I can say is that the books work very hard to help children, with pronunciation of words that may be a little difficult, like certain scientific words. So you'll often find phonetic pronunciations in the books. The images are there to sort of help children better understand what's being said in the book. I don't know that I could say there's any specific element for special needs children. I guess it would also depend on what's the nature of the need. But we definitely, the books themselves don't look overly young. We want the children to really see, what these things look like in reality. So you'll actually see a spider, and you'll see the spider as it, comes out to grab its dinner. And, this is what children are going to see in nature, so we want to make sure that they see that, in the books. The only other thing I would suggest for children with special needs is that perhaps they start at a lower reading level than perhaps, you might think ordinarily. So even if the child, is in a particular grade, you might want to start them with the level 1 reader so that it's a little bit simpler and helps them to come along a little more slowly.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a tough topic, but thank you for answering that. So we have many wondering, what the cost of the Super Readers program is. I mean, you can buy the books individually, or can you buy them as a program, and how does that whole thing work?
Right now, the books are for sale individually. They're $3.99 for the paperback, which is pretty much the standard price for readers right now. But we feel that, for the same $3.99 that you would pay for any of the other readers out there, that there's a huge value in these books because of the color and everything we've talked about. You can, in some cases, buy a couple of the readers together in a package. We've put out a couple of those. I think a Creepy Crawly Critters packet that you can find, on Amazon or in some of the bookstores. And we are playing with putting some of the books together in that way. I also saw on Amazon recently that they have, they've combined some of the books in groups of 6, for instance, that you can buy presumably at, at some sort of a discount on Amazon. But really, the way that these are designed, it's so that your kids can sort of pick and choose what's most interesting to them, and buy them individually. So we didn't want to just lump too many of them together because we want kids to be able to have that flexibility. As far as the Super Readers program itself, that is absolutely free. All of the materials that we've talked about, the poster, the badges, the prizes, the games, the activities, all of that is free and available to you on the website. And we'll be adding to that, periodically as we get more great ideas. If you all have ideas for things that you'd love to see and be able to download, tell us, and we're happy to put them on there.
Great. Yeah, I mean, along the same lines, I had one mom wondering if there are any other, hands-on activities that go along with the books or the website, like crafts or experiments, or anything like that? And maybe, do you have plans for anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely. A couple of the things, I'll just mention some of the activities that I mentioned that were on the back of the teacher's poster that will also be available on the website. We've got drawing pages available so kids can draw a picture of some part of their favorite book. We have word search available so kids can, and this includes all different words from different types of books. We have a Super Readers Funny Fill-In so kids can have fun with that. We have mazes, and certainly, yes, some of the activities that are in the books, as I mentioned, finding ways to plant certain things in your garden. We'll put certain tips like that on the website as well. So there'll be all different kinds of activities, hopefully at different levels, that can keep your kids excited about the reading. And all of this is also designed to make it easy to have, a Super Readers get-together if you'd like. It's something that could be fun to do at a birthday party or, as an after-school activity, maybe with some of your friends. So we've tried to make the program flexible enough so that, moms can use it in whatever way best suits them.
Great, great. And, you've kind of talked a little bit about this during your presentation, but could you just kind of give us an overall sense of, why or what makes the Super Readers program, better than other reading programs out there?
Okay. Well, I think, the most obvious thing that you see immediately when you pick up the books, and you saw that in the slides that I showed, is that the National Geographic Readers books are incredibly visually appealing. And, as a mom of young children myself, I know how important that is. I mean, kids want to be stimulated. They want color. They want, bright pictures. They want things that are exciting and engaging on the page. You're not going to get your kids to read a book if it looks dull and uninteresting. So that's sort of on the surface. But then when you go much deeper, I think, one thing that I can say that I'm so proud of is that these books are completely backed by science. As I mentioned, National Geographic is one of the world's largest nonprofit scientific research and educational organizations. We put all of those resources into every book. And as if that's not enough, we then went outside to outside experts to make sure that we were taking all of that material and translating it into a book that was at an appropriate level for kids to understand. And we continue to use those educational resources to review and vet each of our books. So we feel confident that we have, great information, that we're communicating it to your children in a way that they can understand, and that we've looked at, some of the research that talks about how children learn, that children learn best by doing, being active and engaged. And that's why we put something, on every page of the book that's going to get the child involved. Find something on a map, see if they can answer these questions. Read this little joke and say this joke to your parents. Give your parents a quiz. The activities, all of those things that extend the experience of reading the book beyond just the written word really help kids to learn better. It helps them to understand what they're reading better, and it keeps them excited. So these are elements that we strongly feel, make the books fun for kids, but most importantly for us as moms, it gets the information across. And these are things that we just don't see in our competition.
Great, great. Yeah, thank you so much for clarifying that. Wonderful. Okay, so we just have a few more questions that we're going to be going over. We have one mom wondering if there are going to be any books, or if there are any books in the higher grade levels in the same series or program.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Thank you so much. In fact, this series beautifully dovetails into another series that we have, which is National Geographic Chapters. And these it basically feeds right from the end of the, the Level 3 National Geographic Reader right into the chapter, which is, simple chapter books for kids. And in fact, if you were to pick up a Level 3 or even a Level 2 National Geographic Reader, you would see information about the chapter books in that. So these are also books that, we have series on animals, animal heroes and amazing animals. We have in the chapter series, we have books that utilize our National Geographic explorers. This is another element that National Geographic has that's totally unique to us, and this is amazing explorers and researchers and scientists that go all over the world really in hands-on learning about all of these subjects. And we've gone to these explorers and we've said, wow, can we get you to write a National Geographic chapter book or be a subject of a chapter book? And not only is it just cool to meet a National Geographic explorer, but it really gives the kids, inspiration. Hey, if I'm interested in science now, if I continue this, I could be an explorer someday and go out and do this for my career. So that's one of the strands in the chapter book series. And it's certainly our plan to continue the Super Readers program on into the chapter level. We will probably, step it up a little bit and make it a little bit older, maybe some different kinds of games and incentives, but yes, we definitely don't plan to leave your kids after Level 3. We've got many more books for them to read in the chapter series.
That's great. That's great. I know that we've gotten a lot of comments in from those moms who are attending, saying that they have been using this program. It has come out and they all love it. Their kids love it. So we're getting some really enthusiastic response here. From the moms who are attending the webinar. One mom was wondering, where she could find the trading cards that you had mentioned.
The trading cards? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
Yes, the trading cards. Had you mentioned trading cards earlier?
Yes, yes. I think I called them collector's cards, but we certainly encourage kids to trade them and share them with their friends. That was one of the thoughts we had in mind. And all of those types of things either are or will very soon be on the website. We're sort of rolling out this program right now. In fact, that was one of the reasons I was so excited to work with Moms Meet and Kiwi, because you all are really sort of getting in on the ground floor of this program. If you were to go to the website now, you'd see certain things that are on there. Some of the things that I'm mentioning in my presentation are things that are going to be uploaded to the program, later in the week and early next week. So, keep going back and you'll see all of those things appearing over the next few days.
Great, thank you. And one final question before we wrap this up. Could you just share where moms can find the product, where they can purchase it?
Oh, the product is available everywhere that books are sold. You can find it on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. You can certainly find it in your local neighborhood independent bookstore. It's available at the Barnes & Noble superstores. You can also find it at Target and Dollar Tree and other stores like that. So it's pretty much available almost everywhere.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Ruth. That was a wonderful presentation. I know our mom ambassadors are so excited to review this program with their groups. So mom ambassadors, if you're one of the lucky ones who are selected to review this product, I just want to let you know that you should be getting your kit in the mail very soon if you haven't received it already. And we're really looking forward to hearing what you and your group members have to say about this program. I also just want to mention quickly that we will be notifying winners of the Halloween book soon, so you can check your emails for that. So now it's time to wrap the webinar up. Ruth, did you have any last thoughts that you'd like to share?
Yes, again, I just wanted to thank you so much for taking the time for your day to spend an hour with me. It's really been great fun explaining the program to you. And for those participating in the sampling, I say have a great time. And I hope that everyone on the line will consider trying the program in your own family. And I just appreciate your time again, and thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Thanks everyone for attending, and hope you have a great rest of your day.